for Veterans. I'm Lisa Alikis, and you're watching Newsmakers. In this edition, we talk with Habitat for Humanity about the group's current construction effort, which is different from its usual builds, an apartment complex for veterans. We begin our conversation with Habitat for Humanity Executive Director Scott Clayton and board member Ted Donaldson. Gentlemen, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
So
Nice.
There is a shortage of affordable housing. We hear about this problem. It was talked about a lot before the city council elections. You are working with the Joplin Economic Housing Development Initiative. So tell us what that is. It's JEDI. I don't know if you even use that as its acronym, JEDI. Scott, what is the background of this initiative? How does it work?
Sure. The JEDI began in 2019. So the city of Joplin had funds available where they designate them to what are called community housing development organizations, which is CHODO. So there's a lot of abbreviations here, but the city of Joplin, through its home consortium, had funds available. And so we started a 501c3 called the Joplin Economic Housing Development Initiative, had a little bit of fun with the acronym there and deemed it JEDI. Here we are, May the 4th, so timely interview. But we wanted to give it a little bit of fun, but at the same time, what we really want to do is expand the work of Joplin Area Habitat for Humanity to know that there is a tremendous need for affordable housing. And through the home consortium, we're actually able to build in towns via the city of Joplin and Webb City, Carthage, Carl Junction, in fact, 2 in Oronogo. So through JEDI, we've constructed 14 homes along the same process of what Habitat for Humanity is, which is partnering with families to build affordable homes that are sold at no profit, no interest. So the JEDI is its own board, its own 501c3, a sister organization of Joplin Area Habitat for Humanity, where I serve as president. Brian West at work, who's an employee of Joplin Area Habitat for Humanity, serves as executive director, as a volunteer executive director. We have a JEDI accountant, and we work in cohesion with Habitat to expand affordable housing.
So your missions certainly align.
Correct.
It's kind of the same thing. So there are certain populations more at risk of being homeless or in need of low-cost housing. That includes veterans. Ted, you're a veteran. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Why did Habitat want to create this special kind of complex with veterans in mind?
Well, first of all, I think it's important to recognize that our staff at Habitat for Humanity just does an amazing job. And one of the things that they do is they're always interacting with community members and community leaders, and they're getting feedback from people in the community about what they're looking for. And so in that process, we get feedback that shows that some of our veterans in the community are looking for smaller housing, rental housing, and obviously affordable housing. So the idea of putting this together came from all of those activities, as well as from our board of directors. We have 13 members on our board of directors at Habitat for Humanity, and we come from very diverse backgrounds, and we are a great cross-section of local community organizations and businesses and corporations. And these board members are thought leaders and they're decision makers. And so when we have our board meetings, they're usually pretty robust, and we get to talk about a lot of things in detail and come up with ideas that really meet not only the needs of the community, but also the desires of those people we're trying to serve. So in that whole complex of factors, we decided that this is a good way to kind of address some of those needs and do something that's different than what we've ever done in the past.
It is.
And we want to see where that goes.
Yeah, it is very different. Now, it's called Agape Apartments. How did you land on that name?
You know, so Habitat for Humanity is a Christian nonprofit. Our mission statement is seeking to put God's love into action. Habitat for Humanity brings people together to build homes, communities, and hope. And one of the things that we're taught in the Bible is to have love for our neighbors, as in agape, which is basically a love that doesn't come with any expectations other than to do what we're here on this earth to do. And Ted and I were talking before this interview about Agape Apartments, and he had a lot of good things to say about Agape. Ted, would you mind talking on that?
Well, sure, Scott. You know, I mean, I just have to mimic everything that Scott just said. You know, it is in our hearts that we have a desire to serve others in our community, especially those that may be struggling. And it's not just the veterans, but in this particular instance, this is a way we can do something different that is really selfless and really geared towards showing God's love in the community And we do that not only through our actions, but through those of our volunteers and our contributors, those organizations and businesses that help us do our mission.
Yeah. So describe the size of these apartments, because it's called a 10-plex. So, and it's being built at 20th and New Hampshire. So tell us exactly what will be part of these, because they're either smaller than an average apartment. How is it going to work?
Yeah, they'd be smaller units, and they're going to be 6 one-bedroom and 4 two-bedrooms. The one-bedrooms are a little under 600 square feet, and the two-bedrooms are 900 square feet at incredible affordable rents. So as we were talking about the mission of Habitat for Humanity, it's affordability. And oftentimes, well, and a lot of times in the past, it would be home construction, but also repairs, small to large. So our nonprofit is dedicated, our nonprofits are dedicated to provide affordable housing and repairs in whatever means that best serves our population, which are low to moderate income levels. Homeowners who are physically disabled and elderly and veterans are prioritized with our repair programs. And Ted was mentioning earlier about our board of directors and the meetings that we have. We know that there's a need for affordable housing. 1 in 8 households in the state of Missouri spend more than 50% of their income on housing. 62% of renters spend more than a third of their income on housing. So we know it's an issue. We're open as a group to talking about what best can serve our mission to be an opportunity for many to be involved in.
So we're going to be talking with a veteran who received a Habitat home in our next segment. Typically your group does build houses. So why choose apartments in this case, and how many are, and in this complex, is it like 10 altogether?
That's correct.
All right, so talk about that. Like, usually you require sweat equity. How is this build different?
Well, there's a lot to it. We've done a lot of what we call scattered housing in the Jasper County area. We just started our 200th home in Carthage, so that's a significant moment for us. A lot of people are aware of our program where homeowners apply, and through sweat equity, they complete house with the community, and the end is sold at no profit, no interest. That's a major part of what we do, and that continues on. This is really just kind of an expansion on affordability, and it is a little bit different. It's building commercial. It's our first time doing this, so there's been learning along the way. But I will say, and listening to the veteran community, there's a lot of interest in this because we're going to be in town. We're going to be smaller units. It's going to be like housing. It's going to be pet friendly. There's a lot of things that we've heard and have incorporated into this 10-plex. R.E. Smith Construction has been a major partner. We couldn't do anything if we didn't have our partners, and we have a lot of great builders who have worked with us over the years. We have a lot of great house leaders that help us in our repair programs. We have contractors and subcontractors. So through this base of skilled labor, we've been able to take on more. So we're confident in this 10-plex and being done so well by R.E. Smith Construction.
Yeah, I was going to say, so this is a professional company working with you. Are there different standards when you're building something that is multi-level and, from multi-personal as opposed to somebody's house?
Yes, there's more to it. Yeah. When you build enough residential, you basically get your template down. We have several house plans that we use from 2 to 4 bedrooms, most ordinarily on 50 by 120 lots. And they know us when we're coming. We have our house plans, and we put in permits before. This 10-plex required, an architect, structural, engineering meetings, the pre-development meetings with the city of Joplin. But having partners, like I say, that have done this before has really given us an opportunity here to build this one and hopefully more.
Did this take a different approach to fundraising for a project like this? Ted, you're a board member. Was there a different role for the board in trying to fund something like this as opposed to houses?
Well, I think for the board, the role was really about the decision to go in this direction, because it was such a diversion from where Habitat for Humanity normally goes. Fortunately, Scott gives us tremendous information when we have our board meetings that helps us kind of come to the conclusion of, well, maybe we'd be better off going in this direction to address this need. And that was one of those cases where we knew that smaller, affordable rental housing was needed. Our template was always individually site-built homes. Going this route enabled us to do something that we could do and build 10 houses that cost less than than building 10 separate houses. And so really the role became for the board is, do we want to go in this direction because we've never done this before? Can we do the management function within house, and how's that going to go? And then really, as a board member, on a board such as this, our role is governance and oversight. That's our main role. But we have tremendous opportunities for brainstorming and determining, a direction for the local organization, Joplin Area Habitat for Humanity. And, Scott enables us as board members to kind of provide the tools, the resources, the information to make that happen. So we were excited to think about doing something different that most Habitat for Humanity offices are not doing.
Right.
And so we're excited about it. We're excited to see where it goes and what kind of feedback we get once it's completed to see, do we want to continue on that route?
It could be a model for the future.
It could be.
Now, you did get some kind of grant funding. Tell me about that.
Correct. So the Federal Home Loan Bank Affordable Housing Program and our member bank, Mid-Missouri Bank. So we've been fortunate to receive that grant for a few years to fund our critical home repair program. So in this venture, we were able to apply for a grant for Joplin Area Habitat for Humanity, but also for a Joplin Economic Housing Development Initiative. And fortunately, we're able to receive both. So through a $1.2 million grant from the Federal Home Bank AHP was how we were able to fund this project.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
Yes.
I mean, because you do a lot of fundraising. You do take donations. How do you split the difference there? And are you still in the mode of trying to raise more funds?
It's something that all nonprofits need to constantly work on. And kind of as our missions align and as we have a partnership between both organizations to best serve affordable housing. So when it comes to what we apply for, like with our 200th home, that's been a special endeavor where we even have 5 major sponsors for it. And last Thursday and Friday, we're able to have ceremonial wall raisings with our homeowner. So we can engage with funders and volunteers in multiple ways.
Yeah. So who's going to be managing the complex? Is JEDI involved in that?
Sure. JEDI, we'll have a company that will help us do that.
Okay. And then what is the timeline for the construction?
Well, this week, we're going to be getting that second floor going. So they've been framing the last several weeks, and we're looking at an October finish date.
Okay. And then do you see this as the first of maybe many multi-dwelling developments?
We do, because, housing costs are not going down. And obviously we've been on this trend for a while now. And so going down this pathway allows us an opportunity, like I said, to kind of get some feedback and see, is this viable moving forward? And we really see that it can be. I think a measure of success is tenancy. How quickly can you get it rented out, and then how sustained is that tenancy? Yeah. Once we have that feedback, I think it kind of helps us decide where we go moving forward.
Yeah, you're going to have a big ceremony to recognize the construction that's underway. Tell us about what's happening May 22nd.
Sure. Friday, May 22nd, 11 o'clock, 1916 New Hampshire is where we'll be announcing to the public the 10-plex. We have former Governor Nixon in attendance and some dignitaries, and we look forward to informing the community of the Agape Apartments.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will be joined by a local veteran who received a veteran-built Habitat home. Don't go away.
Every new day at Missouri Southern State University opens the door to meaningful opportunities.
Immersive learning, health and life sciences, global education.
These 3 pillars form the foundation of our mission.
I've always learned best by doing. When I could shape ideas with my own hands, everything clicked.
I enjoy helping others, but I never considered what it could look like as a career.
I grew up in a rural area where people rarely traveled abroad, and I always wondered what waited beyond my small town.
Here I discovered what I can do and who I can become.
Seeing the world through unique perspectives has reshaped how I view my place in it.
At Missouri Southern, we grow and change with purpose.
And that growth shapes who we become.
What begins on this campus moves into studios, hospitals, conference rooms, and communities across the state and around the globe.
This is Missouri Southern State University. Explore boldly.
Care deeply.
Impact globally.
One expanded mission,
Built with lion pride.
Welcome back to Newsmakers, where we are learning all about the Agape Apartments and the Joplin Economic Housing Development Initiative, or JEDI. The 10-plex will be for veterans only. Joining our conversation about that aspect of the project again are Scott Clayton and Ted Donaldson, and we are joined by Marine veteran Tim P., a recipient of a Veterans Build Home. Welcome, Tim. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk about, you had a Veteran Build Home. How did that impact your life when you worked with Habitat?
I was in transition. I was living in a 2-bedroom apartment, and I became a single parent at the time. And so wondering and worrying about how I was going to provide and move forward with the child was on my mind a lot. Then dealing with my issues from the Marine Corps, that was a struggle. So I stopped in. A friend of mine was working with Scott, doing some volunteer work, and said, you need to go and talk to Habitat for that and see if they can't find you some housing. I'm not doing that. I can't. It's not going to work for me, you know. So I did it anyway, and as God's will was, they gave me a call, and I don't know if it was record time, but I heard it was a lot faster than they normally get to people, and I knew that was the love seed was planted already with them. So.
Well, you mentioned you were a little bit resistant, and I know I've met homeless veterans who are like, I want to be in my own space. They have a little bit of PTSD. They don't really want to be bothered. Is that something that this 10-plex hopefully can help other veterans?
Isolation is a word for veterans like that too. Dealing with their mental and behavioral health is a big thing coming from war, or even with the training for the military. It helps a lot to be able to get, it's what helped me, was to be able to talk and get it out, get some counseling along with that. I have a peer specialist. I do counseling myself through homeless veterans program they have through the VA.
Okay.
So I get to see a little more of me for those guys who hadn't made it to where I am today.
And how did it help you to have that relationship with Habitat?
It helped a great deal. It got me social. What is that we call it, Scott? The hours that I had to put in.
Sweat.
My sweat equity hours were great. I got to get out and away and in the air, and then over to my property and do some work. I try to always make it clean for the construction workers when they come back the next day, and it got me out and got to meet some neighbors early. One of them was a pastor that lives next door to me, and then another guy across the street, he was Jesus's brother. He's just a really nice guy, which helped me to open up a lot.
Yeah. And how do you think this 10-plex will help other veterans?
I think if they open their minds and get willing to do something different and to help themselves, we kind of mingle with each other a lot easier than we do with other people we don't know. So just living around other veterans who may have those issues, and some of them may not. We become homeless at periods for various reasons.
You talked about issues. What are the issues that a lot of our veterans face?
Isolation, self-medication, pain, and then when nobody responds to that or acts that they care or acts like they care, it can become an issue that can very well bother your health.
Yeah.
And once they start feeling that way, then they don't want to deal with anybody else. I'll be okay with a bottle or okay with some other substances, and which takes them further away from reality.
Sure, sure. So this is a 10-plex. Tell, how do you think this does help tackle some of those isolation issues for veterans?
Well, it really kind of mimics the living environment of people in the military living on a military base or military post. They build family housing in like row houses, and so there's, many families together in a small area.
Sure.
The dorms are just like here on the campus. A lot of rooms, individual rooms, where everybody's kind of put in close proximity to each other. And the benefit of doing that is it allows these people to kind of develop connections pretty quick with the other tenants in that apartment complex. Well, that creates opportunities for socialization and as well as for just kind of camaraderie, which is a component of military service that's lost when you transition out of the military. The other thing we're doing there is we're building like a little picnic gazebo area that'll create opportunities for residents there to get together as families and just kind of share activities and do things together. Yeah. So I think it's a great opportunity to really kind of witness, a new kind of dynamic for veterans that typically, like Tim said, really kind of isolate because they can't get connected to other veterans in the community.
Right. And I mean, it's nice to know that there's somebody who's walked in your shoes.
Yes.
I mean, you can relate. How did it feel when you got those keys, and how do you think it's going to empower some of these veterans? Like, even if it is an apartment that they're renting, it's their space.
All right. Habitat has a new box truck that they use to pick up a lot of the gifts. And you can see how I felt because I got wrapped on that box truck. My family and I.
He's everywhere in
had
Joplin.
keys, and I was happy. It was a sense of freedom. One of the things that happened, a lot of people thought because they heard of the gift from Habitat was that I got the house for free. Excellent idea. However, they made it very affordable for me to take care of my home and family. Right before the house came and all, I ended up getting not ended up, but I hope my wife's not watching. Not ended up, but I got married. So I have a family with a home now.
Yeah.
So there's a little more responsibility, a little more tug, a little more grit to get out and make things happen, and then still be the father, the breadwinner, the house, the head of the household there.
And that's important for a sense of pride, right? I mean, you don't necessarily need it free.
Right.
You just need it affordable.
I just needed access to be able to get into a home. I'd lived in several homes in my times. They all just weren't mine. And having those set of keys was just not the jingle jingle. It came a lot of responsibility behind those keys. Yeah. And it's our job, and I tell my wife that all the time, and she catches me. She says, remember, with your job, it's our job to make sure that we uphold that property for the face of Habitat as well.
They're looking good.
Yes, and we try to do that on a daily basis now. Being retired gives me a lot more time to be in the yard. So. It just gave me a sense of happiness, ownership, and then you get to see those other people that live around you who feel the same way. Yeah. They all are homeowners, and they all get out and do. Have a neighbor next door who, because of what we did with Habitat here, has started redoing his house.
How nice!
So it kind of just snowballs. We always say when God blesses your neighbor, that means he's in your neighborhood.
That's awesome. So, that's awesome.
Right.
Well, Scott, tell us how people are applying for, to be a tenant, and do you already have the 10 lined up at this point?
We have a lot of interest. We're going to put that application out in July. We have a partnership with VA, so we're compiling a list of people who are interested, and so you can call us at 417-782-6533, joblandhabitat.org, or visit us at 5201 North Main Street.
And Ted, you mentioned, I mean, we've talked about affordable housing being a need. Do you feel like there's going to be an overwhelming number wanting apartments? Is there, the chance of a second complex that may not be veterans only? I mean, would you think of doing that as well?
Yeah, I think we would, and that really kind of goes back to what we were talking about, the feedback we get from, how successful this is. We believe that this is going to be well received in the veteran community. I don't think we're going to have any problems getting applicants, and we'll just kind of see how everything pans out from there. But it's a tremendous opportunity to really kind of go in this new direction and maybe duplicate this for other members of the community as well.
Scott, tell us what it takes to get property, because this is a different size property than you usually do when you put up a home.
That's true. We did have an opportunity with some land that was a little more sizable than our typical lot sizes. When it looks to what we can do in the future, as Ted has mentioned, we'll listen to the community, but also depends on our opportunities that we have when it comes to land and acquisition and, of course, funding. So we are looking for land, and we will be looking for funding sources as well.
And you mentioned your repair program is very important for veterans and others. Talk to me about that, and you said it's even expanding into Kansas.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. So our critical home repair program is a major part of the work we do, and that's that's repairs done by contractors where we can complete up to $29,000 worth of repairs at 8% of total cost. So that's been a grant we've been fortunate to get for several years now. We're nearing our 200th critical home repair, primarily in Jasper County. We expanded to Newton County 2 years ago, and we were fortunate enough to get a grant for Cherokee County this year. So we are looking for homeowners who meet our income guidelines, home ownership, housing on foundation. There's certain qualifications in place, current and insurance and taxes, and we have to look at plausibility of project. But call us up, because we're looking for homes to repair in the Cherokee County area.
And what are some of the typical repairs you can do? I mean, does that include roofing? What kind of things could you get done?
Yeah, we do a lot of accessibility when it comes to bathrooms, ramps, a lot of roofing, windows, things of that nature.
Yeah, certainly it might even make a home more economical or efficient if you get some of that work done.
Well, we're working with a population that maybe doesn't know who to call. Obviously, it's an amazing program when it comes to like discounted payback. So an 8% of overall cost is an incredible opportunity.
Yeah.
So we provide some contractors who we've been working with for several years now that we trust and have a good relationship with.
Remind us of the date of the big event for the Tenplex,
Friday,
Agape Apartments.
May 22nd, 15th anniversary of the tornado at 1916 New Hampshire.
Come out and celebrate.
Yeah.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you for being here. Tim, thank you for sharing your story. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
That wraps up this edition of Newsmakers. Thanks to our guest, and thank you for watching. Awesome. You guys are great.
Yeah, that was good.
Right.
You need to
Tim,
get this
you
guy
are
in the
so
show.
well spoken. Thank you.
Ted's awesome too.
thank you.
He needs to
Thank
be
you
the
for
Ted
your
and Tim
service.
show. How about
Ted
that?
and Tim.
I know. Ted and Tim show.
Ted, Tim. Tim and Ted. All right, let's get your microphone for you.